Hello, and welcome. This is Scott Davidson. I also like to be known as Mr. Sun. I am a trans man, as some of you who watch this may already know, and this is my first time giving myself my testosterone shot at home. It's my third time total, but the last two times were at a doctor's office with a nurse watching who could give me advice, tips, make sure I wasn't making any catastrophic mistakes. This is... I've been getting my testosterone... I've been getting shots for, like, a decade now. I've been getting them. But But giving them to myself is a very recent thing because I'm uncomfortable with needles, but I feel like I need the independence that giving me myself the shot will accomplish. So I'm just going to run through. I thought I'd record this here if there's any other people, trans or not, who are interested in the process. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm super OCD, so I prefer to have gloves while I'm doing the cleanup. The first thing I have to do is get the needle ready. So, take it outside of its thing here. That can be thrown away. First off, this needle's too small. We're not using that needle. We're using this 18 gauge needle. For the record, that's fucking huge. It's not a happy fun times. Thankfully, we don't need to actually shoot myself with it. We're just using it to draw the fluid. We've got a second, smaller, shorter needle. This is 22 gauge that we use to actually shoot myself with. I'm just going to drop that out here onto the cloth. So, I've got my testosterone here. Now, I personally get a rather large amount of testosterone, 300 milligrams or a cc and a half. Get some rubbing alcohol here. You wipe off the top of the testosterone thing. So, here's the part where I pretty much have to take the gloves off, really, because those gloves are awkward, not like the nitrile gloves I used in the nurse's office. I washed my hands, but I think I'm going to be extra sure. Pour a little bit of rubbing alcohol on them. Wipe them off. Get my tissue paper here to dry them with. So, right, I have my little bottle. Now I pull the needle off. See, I want to get the size of this needle. You don't know how long my fingers are, but for the record, this is like, say, 1.5 inches or so, thereabouts. I could go get a ruler, but, no. So, stick it in. Oh, shoot, I made a mistake. It's okay, this is fine, I can put it back in. So what I want to do first is, draw it to 1.5. So you get the air in first. It's fine to double dip like that. I asked the nurse. You preferably don't want to, but you can if you have to. And then you insert the air. Now there's pressure in here. Let me rotate it so I can see this clear bit here. To make sure it's fully in the fluid. Got it? And then rotate this bit so I can see the numbers clearly. Now I draw this up to... Actually want to go a little past 1.5 because there is an air bubble in here. So past 1.5 now. Turn it upside down and flick it to get the air bubble to the top. And then press it back to get rid of the air bubble. And a little past 1.5 again, so let's draw it more. I'm going a little ridiculous. I shouldn't be doing this so like that. I can do it more smoothly, but this is I'm still learning. Okay, so this is ready. So take the little cap, put it back over the needle, And unscrew the needle. There you go. It's nice and safe in its little thing. Now, we put on the smaller needle, the smaller, much more reasonable needle. Now, the next thing I have to do is I get this shot in my thigh. So, got my shorts. I happen to have these big old bald patches in my thigh, which is kind of good actually, because you see, the nurse says you measure by about one hand's length from thigh to, and one hand's length from the knee. See the gap? That's roughly where I want my shot, which happens to align with the edge of my bald spot. Don't know why there's a bald spot there, probably from underwear rubbing, from my elbows being on it, who knows, whatever. Okay, so, I'm going to clean my hands again, and at the same time, put a little bit of rubbing alcohol. Okay, that's not the right technique. Actually, the right technique would be to get this tissue here, bit of rubbing alcohol on it, start in the center of roughly where I'm going to shoot, and then spiral outward. That's the correct technique. But the quick slop is okay. I'd also ideally want to be using cotton balls for this, but my tissue will do fine. The cotton balls are way over there. I forgot to get them before I started. Let me pull my shirt back down. You don't need to see the pudge. I don't want to show off the pudge, so... Okay. Here is the hardest part. Uncap the needle. Grip the thigh. And I want to go straight down fairly quickly. The nurse keeps saying like a dart. I prefer to grab the needle fairly low. You want to make sure not to go below the red, obviously, because then you're gripping the actual needle bits. You don't want to rub finger germs all over the needle that's about to go in your frickin' flesh. I'm still like 4 inches, 5 inches away from my skin right now. It looks like I'm really close from this angle. I'm really far away. So lowering it down. Okay. This is the hardest part. It's going to take me a minute to work up the grip, and sorry, this is terrifying. Relax. Make sure my leg's nice and relaxed. Squeeze the muscle and stick. That did not go in quite smoothly, but it went in smoothly enough. So now I'm gripping it a little lower down. I'm really not doing it ideally here, but I prefer to keep a firm grip on it because it makes me nervous. I very slowly, this is too slowly, come on. Why isn't the plunger? There we go, okay. It's going in. Oh, I forgot to do something real quick. You're supposed to pull the plunger just slightly. Shinny, go away! Cat, this is the worst time to look for cuddles. Thank you. Sorry about that. You're supposed to pull the plunger just slightly before you start pressing to make sure you haven't hit a vein. Thankfully, I have not hit a vein, but I should have checked first. Oh, God. This feels so weird and uncomfortable. Okay. And a little bit of blood. Perfectly reasonable amount. Whoa. Actually, that's dripping a little more heavily than normal. I didn't hit a vein. I did not go into a vein. I did not put my testosterone into a vein. But wow, am I dripping. I'm like 95% sure I didn't put my testosterone in a vein. If I get sick, I'll go to the hospital. I'm pretty sure I'm fine. I'm pretty sure it's only my anxiety that is leaving that 5% open anyway. I'm really anxious. I'm always going to expect worst case scenario. That went as smoothly as could be expected for my first time. Yeah, see? It's fine. It already has stopped bleeding heavily. Just wipe a bit of that excess blood off. Yeah, that's fine. See? It's better. It's already better. Now, put the cap on. I said put the cap on. There we go. Okay. So all of these 3 needles, the one that didn't get used, the draw needle, and the insert needle. Oh god, that always feels weird. I won't lie, this feels weird because I have just put a cc and a half of liquid into my muscle, and there's a bit of swelling now, and that feels weird. Tomorrow, it's going to be sore, like a bruise. This can last for a couple of hours, or it can last for a couple of days, but it's not any worse than having a severe bruise if I were to punch myself. Which I'm not going to do, because fuck that. Anyway. Now I'm going to chuck these needles in my sharps bin, put my stuff away, and have myself a reward cookie. Hum.